Welcome to the Lost Signals podcast. My name is Daryl. I am joined here by JD, the Media Jack, and this is our first kick at the something. Let's call it something for now, and then we'll eventually, maybe call it something else or do something else with it. But we had talked about this for a while. We had some plans, and here we are. We're doing stuff and things and talking about stuff and things into other things.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been entertaining the idea of starting up something, and like you said, this is our first kick at the bucket. Cat, whatever. It either goes or it fails, but we're just gonna sit back and chat and have fun. And really, this whole thing came about because every time you and I play video games online together, it's a lot. We always end up in these like long and not convoluted, but just long and in-depth conversations about God knows what. So me with a radio and talk background, and you with a wealth of knowledge and information and life experience, we thought, it would just be fun to see if we can throw something together.
Yeah. Most of the time, those long talks happen at like
2 in the morning.
2 in the morning, my time, and it's a few liquor drinks in there. Once or twice.
Exactly.
But I mean, that's sometimes when the best conversations happen. Not saying that they're not going to happen now, but this is just a little different.
Exactly. So we'll start off with, because this is the Lost Signals podcast, we'll start off with who you are and what is your background.
I wish I could tell you who I am. I still don't know. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up.
It's one of the big mysteries of the world. Yeah. Who am I?
Yeah, it's just why? Why?
Yeah, exactly.
So, long story short, I'm from a small town in Saskatchewan. I live in the same town that I grew up in. I've lived in this town, in my house here for like 11 years. I have 2 dogs. One of them you can see right there.
Oh, look at the puppers.
And the other one is right there.
Yeah.
They'll be constant reminders of, they'll be a constant in the video, I'm guessing, because they're wandering around in the background. They are both pit bulls. I am a pit bull advocate. I love that style of dog. They're fun, they're busy, but they're jerks, and they like to eat couches, and yeah, that's about it. I work around this area. I've had an interest in doing some sort of entertainment, like podcasting, streaming stuff like we had been doing, I was a part of a different group beforehand. Things kind of fell through with that, and we'll call it falling through. I've always been interested in like the performing arts side of things. I play instruments, as you can see in the background there. I play in a couple bands, do that sort of thing, and I was always intrigued by like talk shows. I listened to a lot of talk radio growing up. Just never thought of a way to get into it, and this is the way to do it for me. That's cheap to get into. Feasible.
Yeah.
Feasible. Yeah. Like I don't have to go to school for it. I don't have to, work at it for a full-time job. For me, it just didn't work. And now we'll just see where this goes. And
technology has caught up to all of us so that it makes it possible. I mean, you have enough of a setup as is right now, just from your interest in music and producing as well as video games, that, yep. I mean, you're fully equipped to start off something. And so here you are.
Absolutely. And and I enjoy talking to people, and you and I, like you had talked in the intro or whatever you want to call it there, that we get along well, and we have long, dumb conversations about all sorts of things.
Yes. I love that. Long, dumb conversations is exactly what I would call it.
Yeah. Like, like 2:00 in the morning, have 3 or 4 beer, and maybe more, some nights and talk about religion. Because that always ends well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always ends well. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Three ways to guarantee a party's going to end. Talk about religion, talk about politics, and talk about rights. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I see them being assholes in the background.
Yeah, there's going to be a UFC match live behind me. It's going to be Loki, the long ear versus Fancy the fat, not fat, the Fancy the chubby.
Yes.
And Fancy will probably win. Anyways.
Yes.
So JD, let's hear about yourself a little bit, and we'll.
I ever since the age of 6 years old, I've wanted to be in radio broadcasting. That was a dream that was presented to me by my father when he brought home one of those old-fashioned white and yellow Fisher-Price microphones that you can tune to the home stereo.
Oh yeah, those are awesome. Yeah.
He brought one of those home, and apparently I couldn't put it down. And then he told me, people actually, that's what they do for a job is they talk on the radio. They talk here and it comes out there, and they do this for a life. And right there and then, that's what I wanted to do. Yep. I knew I wanted to do. My first official gig was reading the lunchtime announcements over the school PA system when I was in kindergarten.
Oh, wow. You're starting really young.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then ever since then, I've taken steps throughout my life to hone my skills, improv, theater, voice coaching, vocal coaching, everything but basically singing lessons. But those are on the docket. Oh. I am going to turn 42 in a couple of months. Collectively, I have been in the radio industry for going on 16 years.
That's a long time to do anything nowadays, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And considering of those 16 years, the majority of them, which is 11 years, was in talk radio. I started off at a talk radio station in Vancouver, which is where I'm originally from. Yep. And I moved from there to Prince George in 2004 and spent 9 years at a local radio station where I was a talk radio host for 9 years.
So do you miss the specific talk radio aspect of your job? Because so I'm probably jumping ahead here because that's what I like doing. But you work as a radio DJ now.
I do. Yeah. I spin the records, as it were.
Yeah. The records, not
the records.
Records, yeah. But I mean, it's a big difference from talk radio. Like instead of like cutting your promos and doing your on air stuff,
yeah,
to a complete talk radio show. Like that's a big difference in my opinion.
It is. It is a massive difference. To go from sitting down, having a conversation, laying out a show of topic, to making sure that you're...
That's our list right there. It says...
Yeah.
That's it. It's one
there's another list. I have one running over here.
Yeah.
So to go from that and being able to format and fill out a 2-hour period of just straight talk with occasional commercial, to go from that to hosting a 6 to 7 hour show where... Oh yeah, no, that's my regular.
Oh yeah, okay. I misunderstood you there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I only can talk and be engaging and entertaining for a minute to minute and a half, a break 3 to 5 times an hour. Yeah, I mean, massive difference. Yeah. But that's I love being in the radio industry, and so I was willing to take on the challenge. So. Do I miss talk radio? Immensely. Talk radio and just talk shows, podcasts in general, gives an opportunity for a story to be told, for laughs to be had, for opinions to be thrown around. You can't do that in 1.5 minutes.
No, so you can tell a story. It's just a really short story.
A very short story, yes.
Where, like you said, like podcasting or that sort of thing, it's... Yeah, especially if you're episodic, you can have themes and
yes,
like in recurring themes, I guess is the best way to put it. So what do you listen to for podcasts right now? Like, what else are you listening to?
Oh. So my go-to podcast right now, I've actually been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately, but my go-to, my go-to podcasts are Smodcast. Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier are hilarious, and at times are brilliant in their creativity.
And have been doing it for forever. Like, they were like the first podcast, I think.
Yeah.
Or definitely like one of the first anyways.
Yeah. I used to listen to Aisha Tyler and Girl on Top. But as much as I respect her and I see what she's trying to do, it grinds on me when I hear a lack of hosting professionalism. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person.
Yep.
It's just there's a lot of faux pas that some people in the podcast world or even the talk show world don't know, or they can't seem to grasp. And it's a difference between being comfortable and thinking you have to do something because you're on radio. So she always had an incredible story to tell and incredible guests. In fact, some guests I was lucky enough to interview as well, but there's only so much I could take of those faux pas and all that, whereas like I can just, it grinds on me. Like I'm not listening to the content anymore. Yeah. I'm listening to the mistakes. So when it comes to like YouTubers and whatnot, Wade and Bob and Mark, known as Lord Minion, Mice-Grim, and Markiplier, when they do their 3 Ps in a pod or Peens in a pod podcast, it's entertaining because those guys are professional entertainers.
Yeah.
What other podcasts do I listen to though? I used to listen to Tell 'em Steve Dave, and there was a science-based podcast that I listened to. I can't remember the name of it. It's been a while, unfortunately. So my podcast listening library isn't as up to snuff as it used to be.
I listen to where to start? I mean, my first intro to podcasting or podcast itself, I think probably was Joe Rogan back, say 8 years ago on a long drive. I needed something else to listen. I think the first one I ever listened to was one of his first episodes with Andrew Dice Clay. So I always thought, like as I was listening to it, I'm like, I kept thinking, like, well, when is it gonna get funny? Because I didn't think Andrew Dice Clay was funny at all. But that was my first like experience. But after that, like driving, I used to drive a lot for my work. So instead of listening to music all the time because I would get bored of it, we'd listen to like the Jay and Dan podcast, that the 2 guys that were on TSN and then moved to the States and then back, like mostly like sports stuff. That one was, that one got me into the Taggart and Torrance podcast, and I haven't missed one of them. I've listened to them.
That's Jonathan Torrance.
Jonathan Torrance, J-Rock from Trailer Park Boys and Jonavision.
Yes.
And Street Sense, back in the day. And Taggart is Jeremy Taggart from Our Lady Peace, the drummer from Our Lady Peace. So,
which is awesome.
Yeah. They've been doing that for a couple of years now, and I've seen them live. Put on a great show. I used to listen to the ID10T. That was the
I know the reference. That's brilliant. I didn't know there was a podcast.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
The guy from AMC that used to do like Talking Dead.
Jesus.
God,
Chris something.
Yeah, but like it was the whole, like they had a whole series of podcasts, and there was really good. They had really good guests on it, and like they're like 2, 3, 4 hours long, like with like celebrity guests. Why can't I think of this guy's name? I'm not no. I'm thinking. I always try and like reach for my phone when it comes to like trying
Chris Hardwick.
Yes.
Thank you, Chris.
But what was the name of the original podcast before he got He almost got Me Too'd.
Oh yeah.
And then they rebranded everything to the ID10T podcast. But like I can't remember. It was interesting. They had like a ton of episodes, like up 800-900 episodes or something. And then they changed it. And it kind of lost some of its charm. But
yeah. I mean, you don't fully bounce back from something like that.
Yeah.
Even if the initial intent was to raise awareness and not to put the guy up on a crucifix, you know. So yeah, now Chris Hardwick, I mean, he was the geek's geek when it came to pop culture and whatnot.
And it's something like the way that you say geek. It was part of the name of that podcast. Now I just can't think of it. That's gonna bug me.
I'm just going through my phone here and checking out what other podcasts I actually have listed here.
Yeah.
I apologize.
No, it's all good. Because now I'm looking.
Whatever.
It's the Nerdist. It's the Nerdist podcast.
Nerdist. That's it. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
So, insert creative title, which is hosted by Ben Gibson. He took it upon himself to interview some incredible creators, both in the cosplay world as well as the art world, and TikTok, because Ben Gibson actually has quite the strong following on TikTok. Yeah. And Sexy Kebab podcast. It is abridged and uncensored, hosted by Afrin, who is a former coworker of mine, and decided to take up a podcast. And she has a very, how do I put this gently, abrupt opinion on sexuality and relationships, as well as she dabbles a little bit in politics and whatnot, which is never really my forte, but entertaining to say the least.
Yeah.
So, and I always like to support, coworkers and friends and whatnot. So
absolutely. Yeah.
But
we kind of went off there already.
Whatever. It is what it is.
That's just the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is your first episode of Lost Signals. Yes. I'm currently in the mid 400s of the Media Jack podcast, also formerly known as the Flipside Radio Show.
Yep.
And when it comes down to it, like, I enjoy, like, you've always had an interest in starting something and creating this format to just, talk about things and just have a few laughs and get opinions and whatnot. I've enjoyed doing talk radio and podcast because it gives me the opportunity to talk to people not unlike yourself and to hear other people's stories. Like, I know my story. I know my journey through life. I know my upbringing and struggles and triumphs and all that stuff. But, everyone walks a different path. And unless it's weird for me, because unless someone is a professional in some way, shape, or form, be it they're known on TikTok or they're a musician or they're an artist or an actor, whatever, there are times where I'll meet someone, just average Joe Blow, whatever, but they tell me this incredible story and I'll beg them, like, please let me interview you. And like, who am I? Like, no, you have a story to tell. You just don't realize it because you lived through it.
Yeah.
So
I think some people do get intimidated by, once you get that in front of your face.
Yeah. Well, this is a giant intimidation factor.
I keep mine covered because, it's the way I am.
You got to practice safe pod.
Exactly. You obviously don't. You're trying to get some little.
I'm a seasoned professional. I know when to pull out.
That's fair. Yeah. Wow. So there's a first sexual innuendo.
Yeah. Many more to come.
Many more to come. Yes.
How did we meet?
We met through gaming.
Yes.
Through the old group, Bitter Old Goons Gaming. I was a part of. I was a founding member. And then I believe you were watching one of Mike's streams at one point. And
He was rebuilding an arcade cabinet.
Yes. Do you remember which arcade cabinet he was building?
Not a clue. It might have been Golden Tea.
If it was the Golden Tea one, that was mine. I owned that Golden Tea machine. Yeah, that was that sat in my living room. I played it about 6 times. I paid like a good chunk of cash for it. Played it 6 or 8 times. Loved it. Got really good at it because I got really good at it back in the bar days. Figured, I need this in my house. So I don't live in a very big house, and it's like, yeah, I need this. Yeah, and then I sold it. I had to. I had to. There's no reason for me to keep it. So
yeah.
But
sorry. Just to acknowledge the fact that yes, chat is active, and Chris, we do see you. It was just we are just in the middle of introductions here, so. I mean, I really do appreciate you being there and adding your input and sticking around. We will get to that.
Yeah. I actually can't, I can't see my chat. I'm trying to look at my phone and it's just it's just being dumb.
I see it. So.
Now everybody's gone. There we go. I was gonna bring up I was gonna bring up another window and then I was gonna put on my third monitor, but it's not hooked up. It's all sorts of 6s and 7s right now. Yes. Anyways,
so through that, I actually, I wanted to interview Mike because he was figurehead, I guess, a representative for the gaming group that you were a part of, and then as years went on, I became friends with everyone in that gamer group, formerly known as Bitter Old Goons Gaming, and I became an honorary member.
Yeah, you did. Yep.
Just in time for it to all fold.
Yeah. And I don't even know what happened. Like I was the first to leave. And it was I was on my way home from a nearby city from me, and I got like, we had a group chat, and like the one night I got like 200 messages overnight, and like I went through them and there was just about nothing, and nobody, like there was a lot of talk about doing a lot of stuff and it didn't happen. Which it is what it is, like you get a group of people together and you try and plan stuff out and do stuff, and it just sometimes just doesn't work. So like I got it in my head that I'm done. So I typed something up and I left, and I left all of the social media pages. I ran some of them. I paid for the website that's still up, and I don't care that it's still up. And then it was time for me to go. And then I took a long break away from streaming and stuff. And then then this opportunity showed its head. Well, and actually I got better internet, so that helped. So excuse me. So I don't regret being a part of Bitter Old Goons Gaming. I mean, I've met a lot of, good people like yourself and Chris and, like, and all these people. If I would go back, there's stuff I would do differently, but I wouldn't go back. You know what I mean? I think I'm in a better place on my own, doing my own thing, my own control over the content and everything.
So with that, I mean, when you left, like no one blames you at all. And in fact, it was, I think, the realization that if the group was to move forward or evolve, there had to be some work done.
Yes.
And
100%.
And there was a lot of fatigue going on. Now, keeping in mind, like when Bitter Old Goons Gaming was really starting to gain traction online, majority of it on Twitch, Mike had a lot of time on his hands, and he was rightfully the figurehead and the spokesperson for it because he was the one in charge.
He did 95% of the streaming on that channel. Like
exactly.
I did some stuff here and there when I could with the low grade internet that I had, but he was like, and Johnny Rockets did a bunch, R-Star did a bunch, like, and Jeff and these guys did do a bunch, but like the amount of hours that Mike put in
was phenomenal.
Yeah, like it was
Yeah.
like doing 24-hour streams and stuff, like, and it's just
Yeah. So it got to the point where you and Mike and everyone basically became burnt out, and rightfully
Yeah.
so. I mean, like, streamer content creator burnout is a real thing.
Yeah.
And so,
especially when you're trying to juggle, personal life and trying to stream, and like, and you have stuff going on at home, say, whatever, but like to just try and do 17 things at once and be entertaining, and you obviously know about that. So
yeah, it can get tiring.
Yeah.
So it was unfortunate, and I will never take it for granted, like being offered the position to just be like, help us and be a part of it and be a part of the community and all that stuff, which is still great. But it was very clear that unfortunately, like, the whole thing, like the steam engine just ran out of steam.
Yeah.
And like everyone is now gone their separate ways. Like, there's still a community, there's still a group. The Bitter Old Goons Gaming still does exist as a community that was created.
Yeah.
It's just, as the actual brand, unfortunately, it's stagnant.
Stagnant is a good word for it. Like, I was going to say dead. I mean, because I think actually the last person that streamed on that channel was you.
Yeah.
And
I'm well aware.
Yeah, and I think that was like a year ago. So suffice to say, I mean, like, we had a good run, and some really good things came out of it, some good friendships and stuff. And it was a learning environment.
Yes.
So,
and that is the one thing that you can take from the entire situation. Like,
Absolutely.
if it wasn't for that, like, you and I would not be friends,
Right.
and I would not. If I ever found my way into Saskatoon again, like, I know I would never be hard up for a place to hang out, a couch to surf on, a cup of coffee or something like that, right? And the same if you guys made your way out here.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I mean, it was heartbreaking, but at the same time, like, understandable. And as far as I know, like, there's never been any hard feelings. Like, there was a lot of tension and whatnot that happened when everything folded, but at the same time, I mean, we're all still friends. We're all still, like, we communicate. And we just still have a great time together. And yes, it was very much a learning experience and something very unique and also very Canadian. So.
100%. So, like, there's still a bog chat that I am a part of. It's just we started another one after things kind of fell through, just to like talk about whatever, and nothing ever bad was said in it. But like we were talking the other day, it's like when we're able to, we're gonna do another barbecue, and just hang out like the old days with none of the channel pressures that and nobody else put those pressures on us besides ourselves. And it was all internal squabbles that were going on, that it's just, we're better off as friends, not working partners. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no. And, it's reminiscent, like the best comparison I can relate it to is high school. And the reason is because it is a giant pressure cooker.
Yes.
And when you put things under pressure, cracks form.
Yeah.
And once you relieve that pressure, you go, what were we fighting about? I don't understand. Yeah. We were having a good time. So,
but
having said that,
when you're living in the middle of it, sometimes it gets. I know I do get what you're saying, but like for a while there was there was a lot of bullshit.
This is true.
Just straight up bullshit, but now it's fine. And like I said, like, we're better off not being that conglomerate and advertising ourselves as that. I know Mike still streams. I don't know if Ryan does.
In fact, at this very moment, he is streaming right now.
All right. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think he follows me on Twitch, so. But that was a cough. I saw that.
I have a mute button right there.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I know, like Johnny actually is the one that did my logo up for me. So,
which looks awesome.
Yeah, it does. I'm gonna get on and do some other stuff for me. But yeah, it is what it is. So like bog to me is dead. And you know, if anybody wanted, like, from the group that wanted to stream on that channel, go ahead. I don't know if you'd get any traction anymore, but
I might just to freak people out. I might
just like, what the
I might
hell?
log in and
Yeah.
just I don't know, stream some Dream Daddy or Hooney Pop or something weird.
Yeah, Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2018. Yeah, that's classic. That's classic right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving on from that, you have created Lost Signal, which
Yes.
is your streamer tag.
Yep.
Also, you are in a couple of bands,
Yes.
and one of them was Age of Autonomy.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one is dead too, I think.
And again, like
it's another victim of the pandemic.
It is. It also a learning experience.
Yeah. 100% victim, because like we went from like we were under the impression, you know, like we're going to be able to go and play a bunch of shows. So
Yes.
like I play bass in like a couple, like one band specifically, and then, you know, I'll fill in here and there, you know, I'll jam with whoever. I'm not really picky. Age of Autonomy was supposed to be the group that would have made it someplace.
And there was a lot of polish. There was a lot of polish in your group.
Yeah, like the plan was like we were gonna play like we wanted to play bigger shows. Like we had an EP. I didn't play on that EP that was released. I was hired, and that's the way that the guy called it, is that we were gonna be for the EP part of it, like we were gonna just go and play the songs, you know, and try and shop ourselves around, you know, like playing shows and stuff, you know, and like we shot a video and whatever.
Yeah.
Then the pandemic hit. We had practiced a couple times after, you know, like not breaking any rules or anything. I mean, like we practiced a few times and everything was fine. And then, you know, I lost my job. The other guy lost his job. So there's no money to pay for our jam space. And then there's no money to do any like website stuff. There's no money to do another video. There's no money to do anything. So it just died. And I haven't talked to the guys I talked to the drummer and the guitarist a little bit here and there, but the singer, we'll call him the headpiece.
Yes.
Haven't spoke to him. Just, I think he deleted everything, like all social media. I think he's just gone.
Yeah. I mean, the pandemic, like it did more than just affect professional. It affected a lot of things upstairs.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like actions like that and decisions like that, I mean, it's not expected, but at the same time, it's not surprising.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
Like you, when you put all this effort, like not specifically me, like, I mean, I learned the songs and I practiced, but I could see like putting that sort of pressure on yourself to try and go out and essentially make money off of it when everything's taken away from you.
Yeah.
Right. It definitely puts a huge damper on things. It sucks. I mean, because I like the music. Maybe after the pandemic, but
there could be a future.
But maybe, but I kind of doubt it. Like that project specifically. But my new project, actually, we don't have a name. We're planning on playing covers for now. You know, what our plan is to be able to go out and play like a street dance or at a bar when everything's open. But we're trying to be ready for when everything's open, because
it's really all you can do.
Yeah, and people are sick of, you know, sitting at home. But I totally get the restrictions and everything. But I'm ready for that day when they're gone, because I'm sick of not being able to go out to a bar and, you know, hanging out with a buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't stepped foot in a grocery store in going on 9 months. Fortunately, like online shopping and delivery and instant pickup is a thing. Don't necessarily miss it, but as just a snapshot as to what the world is right now. Like we're dealing, we're struggling, but we're dealing. So
Yeah. Anyways, enough depressing pandemic talk because it just gets old. You know, because like at my job, you know, every day we get a COVID update in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah,
preaching to the choir there.
Yeah, it's like, oh, especially you and like, and yeah, we get asked every morning. It's like, how are you feeling today? You feeling sick today? Are you good to go? It's like, if I wasn't, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Like,
believe me.
like,
now I have a clear excuse to be like, no, I feel sick. I'm
Yeah.
not coming in. And people go, stay home.
Yeah, exactly. But the problem is now, like my work, it's like as soon as you feel sick, it's like, doesn't matter. You're going for a test. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like that part, but
And they reach back there and to tickle your brain and go, oh, do you know French still?
Yeah, it's like it felt like it was in the back of my eye. It's disgusting. It's like, yeah.
No thanks.
No
thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. But let's talk about something a little bit better, something a little more lighthearted, something transitioning to something that you and I both have a vested interest in, and it's music.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now you wanted to bring up the topic of like what music are you listening to these days? And I will be the first to admit when I'm late to the party. Okay. I found a Swedish band that I have utterly fell in love with. Is it
ABBA?
It's not ABBA.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that's a little far behind there.
Yeah, it's a little far behind.
Yeah.
So much so that I've started looking into whether or not I can buy some of their vinyl.
Oh. Nice.
It's Ghost.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I like Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're brand new. I'm gonna say brand new, but of course I'm putting my foot in my mouth immediately. Their most recent album, which was released back in 2018, I downloaded it as soon as I heard Dance Macabre, and I downloaded the album, the whole deal, and I put it on a song list in my phone, and I listened to it from start to finish, and just freaking fell in love with it. Like, there's not many albums out there for me that I can listen to from start to finish, and this is the first one in, dare I say, a decade where every track just not only did it flow well into the next song and it told a story overall throughout the entire album, but it's just rocking. And Ghost, I'm trying to figure out what they're about because
I don't think they know what they're about. I don't. Because I've seen videos of them and it's just like, what the It's like, what are you doing? Like, but I get it.
Are they serious? Are they metal? Are they do they know they're farcical? Is this an inside joke? Because their album art is stunning, eye-catching, and their onstage presence is incredible. But there's one song on this album. I'm going to see if I can figure out which one it is. It is a complete instrumental, and towards the end of the song, there is a moonlighting-esque saxophone solo in the middle of this, towards the end of the song, and it's just like it fits, but it's weird.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah, so
I haven't listened to a bunch of Ghosts, but like the stuff that I have, I like it, but it's different. I'm trying to think and remember if I saw them or not. Oh, because now I gotta look.
So I instantly fell in love with them with I apologize if I'm getting it wrong, but Dance Macabre, and then off the same album Rats, and then a different album was Square Hammer, and I just started going through other singles of theirs and just like, where has this band been all my fucking life? It's just they're awesome, and they're just enough tongue in cheek and just enough metal to like find that very peculiar balance. It's like if Weird Al Yankovic went on tour with Metallica, they can make it work.
I would watch. I would see Metallica anyways, but Weird Al with them, that'd be amazing.
That would be that would be stunning.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did not see them. I thought they opened for Slayer when I saw them in Vancouver in 2018, but they did not. I can't remember who was at that show. Anthrax was at that show.
Oh. That's quite the lineup.
Well, that's two of the big four. And Lamb of God. It was a weird show. I mean, I went to see Slayer. That's it. I mean, like I've been a Slayer fan since I was like 14, 12.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
So go ahead. Sorry.
No. I was gonna go into what I was listening to, kind of, but no, you go ahead. You have a thought out point more than me rambling.
So streaming services be damned. There are plenty of options out there. I realized that on my phone I have basically 3 different streaming services. I used to have Google Music, but they transferred over to YouTube Music, which is fucking frustrating because you can't buy music anymore. It's like you can sign up for the streaming services, or you can have this endless playlist that has commercials every second fucking song.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
And then I downloaded Spotify, which is no different, but I realized that
I have Spotify Premium, and that is much different.
Okay. So you have Spotify Premium. I already pay for a subscription to something else, which apparently has, or I didn't realize it until way later. If I subscribe to Amazon Prime, which not only gives me a streaming service on my TV, but also gives me bonuses with certain games when I play online. But also apparently wrapped into that is Amazon Prime Music, which gives me an incredible library I can create playlists from with no commercials.
Yep.
So that's like, I downloaded that as soon as I freaking clued in and went like, oh geez, I could just do this now. So
what's the library like though? Like what's like, is it proper, or is there like a lot of new stuff? Or because to me like if we're talking Amazon Prime TV, that's like C-list stuff for the most part.
Well, on my current playlist, I was able to download the entire album from 2018 of Ghost.
Okay.
As well, let's see what I have here. I have Run the Jewels, which the entire library is on there. Theory of a Dead Man, The Who, as in HU, not WHO.
Yeah, which the British Who is probably on there, I'm guessing.
Probably. White Zombie, as well as Five Finger Death Punch. I mean, it's an extensive library. Okay. They have a lot to choose from.
Okay, I want you to look up something for me right now on that Amazon.
Fine.
Go
ahead.
Look up intervals. I'll wait.
Artist, intervals.
Yes. What's the latest release on there?
I'll show you.
Okay, I'm looking. No, it's Circadian. Yeah, it's on there. I could tell by the artwork right away. Interesting.
So, yeah.
That's because, I mean, I pay for Spotify, but I mean, and I pay for Amazon Prime, so I mean, I have both of them. But yeah, no, I didn't think. I suppose that's the way that people release music now. Like the way that they release music now is they just release it everywhere and just hope something hits. See,
I still have all my CDs. I have boxes and boxes of CDs in my storage. And it's funny because my car doesn't have a CD player. Yep. My computer doesn't even have a CD drive. But I have all that entertainment there. Like, Christ, the only thing close to a CD player that I have is my PlayStation 4. So I have that, and I've never been afraid to support an artist by buying something physical. And like, I have albums, like vinyl albums from bands that have visited Prince George. Yeah. That's awesome.
Like, I have, like, I won't show you because it's a mess over there. Not a mess, but it's just not ready.
Unorganized.
I have a small collection. Like, I think I'm up to 60 vinyl records right now. Just like, and some like pretty rare and expensive stuff now.
You were saying that before.
Yeah, it's an addiction. It's like
it's a hobby.
It's like crack, because it's like, So that new intervals, like that I showed you.
Yeah.
My buddy Tyler, that you know pretty well now,
Yes.
texted me. He's like, "Oh, you need to see this. There's a new intervals album." I'm like, "Oh, great. There's another $100 I have to spend on vinyl records." Because that's what it is. Because like I'm expecting a package tomorrow from UPS, which is weird that they're coming out here, but new intervals record, $100.
Oh, but
again, so the thing about that intervals record, they released 2 variants, and I ordered early enough that I got a test pressing of it too. So like it's a whole vinyl collector's package.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I mean, I could be spending my money on dumber things.
This is very true. And the way I see it, like a couple of days ago, the company that provides my television, cable, internet, they were doing maintenance. And of course, that means that, what am I going to do to entertain myself? Oh my goodness. I have a record player, and it's a high quality record player. Yeah. So like I have that. And, at times I just throw on a record because, anyone who's an audiophile will know and understand, like, there's just something that cannot be replicated.
Yeah. And like they do say like an MP3 does sound better technically, but it doesn't sound as good as a record.
Yeah, which is
like there's a feel to it. Like
exactly.
Yeah, it's way different from listening to just a regular MP3 or FLAC or WAV or whatever the hell you're listening to nowadays.
It could be something as simple as the task to do it. You gotta pull out the record, make sure it doesn't scratch, pull it out of the sleeve, put it properly into the record player, turn it on, watch the needle move over. I mean, it is an entire, not just a process, but it's an entire ritual.
Yeah. So, So I own this. It's probably my favorite Metallica album of all time.
Justice for All.
Yes. There is 9 songs on this. This 4 records. This is the deluxe package.
Yes.
There's, except for one song, there's 1 song per side on here.
Yeah.
I mean, mind you, the shortest song is 5 minutes and 12 seconds. But it's got its own side on a record. Its own side. Like, I have other records that have 8 songs on one side. That's got 1. Yeah.
And you can't do that with technology. Like you download one of those songs. It takes up an entire side of a record, and you go, oh, it's like 4.6 megs.
Yeah.
So what? There's nothing to that.
Yeah.
But to have a physical record in front of you, hold it in front of you, and look at one side and go, this is one song.
Yeah. Well, and it's not only that. I mean, like you buy a record, like even this one, like the artwork on this compared to the artwork that gets downloaded with your MP3 on Spotify or wherever, it doesn't look like this. Like this is tangible. Like this is like you can see this. This is you can see the work that went into some of this stuff.
Exactly. And on top of that, to appreciate the artwork, like you download it on my phone with the streaming service, no commercials, whatever. I could listen to hours upon hours and upon hours of music, have no idea what the album cover looks like.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because I don't have.
Yeah. I mean, so it's you don't have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
But it was the same with CDs and even cassettes back in the day. I remember buying cassettes. That's how old I am. Yeah.
Me too.
You open the cassette and you put it in the first time. You make sure you put it on the right side the first time, and you press play and you listen. And then you unfold those notes, and you listen to the lyrics.
Exactly.
If it had lyrics, and then you listen, and it's a different time.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than taking that cassette, throwing it into whatever it was, pushing play, and then click. Wrong side.
Unless you're one of those rich kids that had the auto flipping one where it would just flip over right away. You had that, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had the big boom box, and I could record off of radio. I could record off of a second cassette that was right next to it. Like, no,
I didn't have the auto
that was a
flipping
good
one.
Christmas.
Yeah. But yeah, I had the dual decks. I actually had a dual deck with a 6 CD changer.
Oh,
figure that out. Like that was expensive back in the day.
Rotate up or
no, it was a drawer style, like what you had back in the day. So
yeah,
but yeah, then
you load it in like a clip and then throw it in there.
But like every once in a while, like a disc would get missed and it would like be stuck inside, so you have to pull.
Yeah,
it's just, kids just don't buy CDs unless you're buying like a single disc player. Then that makes more sense compared to what us old people are talking about.
See, I again, back to my original point, like I've never had an issue. In fact, it's to this day, I want to buy the most recent, be it 2018 album from Ghost.
Yeah.
You know, if I buy it digital, then cool. If I buy it physical and they give me a code to download the digital, even better.
Yeah.
Right? Like I want to have that. I don't want a streaming service. I don't like the fact that Google Play or Google Music or
whatever the hell it is now.
Yeah, it changed to YouTube Music, and like I like it still categorizes and it still lists the songs that I bought off of that former online service, but it doesn't give me the option to add more to my library. Yeah. Now I have to, like, you're shooting. I like you're shooting yourself in the foot here. Like, how much money are you actually making now, as opposed to, you know, getting revenue from people buying music, right? Is it really that optimal?
Well, the artists definitely aren't making any money.
Yeah.
Google is, you know, but I mean, the artists are not. So,
yeah. So and again, that it furthers my point. Like, I would prefer to own something. I would prefer to purchase something.
Yeah.
You know?
So like, that's what, like, a couple of my favorite bands, like Intervals, I own all of them except one. But it's a variant, so I don't have to worry about it. I own all of the Alexis on Fire stuff, most of it, I think, like a good chunk of it. City and Color, I own all 6 albums on vinyl. I prefer spending my money on an artist that way, or seeing him at a show and buying merch. You know, that was really loud. I need to mute that.
What'd you do?
That was my it was a notification from WhatsApp. Like, oh yeah, you're right, dum. You should mute
technology.
Yeah, mute your shit. Just don't. Oh yeah, at least I can't see it. Not that it matters.
We're pushing an hour here, which is awesome. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, actually, I keep thinking, it's like, when are we actually going to get into the podcast and start talking about stuff?
I think we just did.
I know, right?
And you know what? I can't think of a better way to just start off Lost Signals podcast anyway.
Yeah, right? Like, it's just kind of just dumb riffing about stuff like we always talk about. It's not dumb. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, just
our typical banter.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So maybe we'll lead into this question here. I have never. I've been to concerts. I've been to performances, theater, where like the halftime, the midway point, whatever, was a performance by a band. I have never been to an event, a concert weekend. I've never done anything like that. With everything that's going on and the pandemic and all that stuff, it's made me realize that is something I need to experience. Even before I hit 50.
Yeah. Right.
It's something I want to do. Now, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to do.
So this is going to sound really weird. But okay, so in Saskatchewan, the province where I live, there is a event called the Craven Country Jamboree or something along that lines.
Okay.
In 2009, I went to it. And the only reason I went to it is because it was just you went and sat in the sun and drank a bunch of beer for the whole weekend. I think I saw like 3 artists. Actually, I actually think I saw Taylor Swift that weekend.
Oh,
because like she was there. I think her and Carrie Underwood. I think so pretty easy on the eyes there. But,
yeah.
There's been a bunch of festivals like in Europe that I've been wanting to go to, like the Download Festival. I think is that one in the States or in Europe? I can't remember. But there's a bunch over there, like where all like the big metal bands go and play, and it's like fuck, I just want to go and like to see like 7 of my favorite metal bands in like one show.
Right.
But that is something that I would like to do as well. Because Craven, fine, it was fun and I had a good time. But I didn't go for the music. I went to go drink a bunch of beer in the sun.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I would do it. I would do Craven again though. But I mean, I'm too old to go camp with the kids because that's just weird.
I can't think of any that would come to mind, but I do know that there are some incredible festivals that
like
happen.
Glastonbury in the
UK.
Yeah,
exactly.
And
right?
when they got all sorts of different like artists playing like every different artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Every different genre playing. That'd be something I would be interested in seeing.
There's a metal festival somewhere in the Ukraine that sounds incredible. For the life of me, I can't think of it, but I think it's like a half metal, half medieval, LARPing.
Yeah.
Something. It just looks insane, and I want to be a part of that.
That'd be intense.
Yeah.
Every part about that would be intense. Really, like being in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
First of all, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's like I can't wait to get the shot. If Bill Gates is going to monitor my every movement, then why do I need a phone?
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you got me already, Bill. So
yeah,
all good.
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
if I could get it like a month ago, I would have got it. I would get it right now. Somebody come in my house, I'm gonna jab you with this. Like, go ahead. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Just do it. I'm tired of this.
Don't you want to know what it's for?
No. Hopefully it's heroin.
Yeah. I just want to forget for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hopefully stuff opens up soon. So actually, my province is starting to. They're talking about easing some restrictions again.
Mine too.
Yeah, like that we are trending more down. It seems.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like, so I knew we weren't going to talk a whole bunch about COVID stuff because it does get old. But so what's going on in the States right now? Like Texas just open 100%, right? Yeah, and I had the same reaction as you did. It's like that's too early. You're the second in the United States for infections. You've had 50,000 people die in Texas alone. Guy at work today came up to me. It's like, oh, did you hear that Texas is opening up and like they're gonna get rid of their mask restrictions? And he's like, it's like that's the best thing ever. I'm like, no, it's not. Like that's stupid. He's an anti-masker. I'm sure of it. It's like, and I don't think these people are thinking right. It's like they're reading something off of Facebook that somebody said, oh, this can't be real, like, and it's not going to spread. Well, what good is a mask going to do? So am I going to believe that moron on Facebook, or am I going to believe somebody that spent their entire life studying viruses and how they're spread? Like,
exactly.
I'm going to believe the doctors. No,
my father. Now, anyone who knows me knows the relationship between myself and my family, not the greatest. There was clearly a black sheep in the family, and it's this guy right here. My father is an anti-masker and is not following any protocols or anything like that. And I know this through a brief conversation through text because that is how far our relationship has degraded over years. And I saw fucking retarded Wolverine Ted Cruz, which, correct me if I'm wrong, he was born in Calgary.
Yep.
And the guy has ambitions to run for the president of the United States, which I think
he can't.
Immediately. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, absolute utter retard. And I use that term literally.
Because his learning is retarded.
Yeah,
it's slow.
His entire state is without power and freezing to death, and he's like, "Oh no, daughters want to go to Cancun. I'm going to go to Cancun."
Yeah,
it's your fucking job to serve the people, dipshit.
Yeah.
So, I'm not surprised at all that they went this route.
No,
and if anything, like I feel bad for the one friend that I have in Texas who is already immune compromised.
Yeah.
And her husband is also immune compromised. And they have been doing everything possible to stay healthy. And so that tells me that there are smart people in Texas. There are smart people in, what's the other state? Mississippi?
I think Florida, actually.
Okay. Yeah, there are less smart people in Florida. But it tells me that it's those people that are stuck there that are trying their best to follow COVID restrictions, to not get sick. They're the ones who are truly suffering.
Yeah.
Like it's easy to automatically look at and think of Texas and go an entire state of stupid, but it's not.
It's not.
Right?
It's the loud minority, that's like, well, it's got to be the minority of people that are making the most noise, I would think. Not minorities. I'm saying like just like stupid.
No.
Minority.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm glad I live where I live through this whole thing. Living in Saskatchewan, it's been pretty easy.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot. It's not like the show. There's not a lot going on.
Well, it's the same thing here.
Yeah.
Like things are worse in other cities in British Columbia, but where I am, we're fortunate.
You're geographically separated from a large population.
Very much.
Where we are too, but I mean, it's a little different here.
So I went on a walk today. I live at the bottom of a mountain, and there is a road that goes behind my apartment building up to the university on top of the mountain, which I might point out. I pointed this out to a friend of mine who lives in Ohio. It's like, where I live, Prince George is a magical place. Like what other comic book or cartoon series do you know where a place of higher learning is on top of a fucking mountain? Right. Yeah. So that's literally what Prince George is. But anyway, I walk from my apartment at the bottom of the mountain up to the top of the mountain, and I walk back. And it's a great way to make the Fitbit happy. It's also a great exercise. So I did that today, and it took me about an hour and 15 minutes, and I brought a mask with me.
Yeah.
Now, it's cold outside, so it's windy, so I have a hat on, I have a jacket on, and I have my earbuds in, and I have a mask that I don't always wear, but if I'm walking towards someone, I'll put on the mask. Not a single person coming the other direction was wearing a mask, which is totally fine. We're outside, it's really windy, and it's not a prerequisite. It's not a mandate, right? Yep. But at the same time, I couldn't help but make eye contact or try to with everyone that I passed, and every single one of them was like, had that sheepish look, like, oh fuck.
Yeah. I got caught.
But I didn't point anything out. I didn't want to. I didn't need to. I didn't do anything like that. If anything, I was wearing a mask, again, of the mentality for them. Right? Because me walking past them while wearing a mask wasn't to shame them. It's more to just give them that one peace of mind that, you know what, that one person that I walked past on the mountain today, he wore a mask.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I don't have to worry about him. Right?
So the funny thing is, like, so I wear a mask religiously at work. I work in a place where there's a lot of people. Like,
Yeah.
And I it's not that I interact with a bunch of people, but I interact with enough. So I wear a mask all the time, because unless I'm eating or drinking, because that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, the girl that likes to have the chin diaper on, yeah, she's off sick now.
Surprise.
Yeah. That's what you get. That's what you get.
There's so much misinformation out there. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
People, it's like watching armchair athletes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. We all know what you would do if you were in that situation, looking from where you are seated.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to listen to those who are actually professionals in this.
Or professional. Yeah. Either way.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
If anything, it just makes me want to get the shot more. It also makes me want to not go to the United States more. And it also makes me just not interested in ever going to Florida or Texas. And it also makes me think, I wouldn't be against the idea of waffle stomping Ted Cruz's face into the pavement.
I got a visitor.
I see that. That's adorable. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Well, that's probably a good place to end it. We talking about waffle stomping Ted Cruz, and I think these two are getting hungry because he's starting to gnaw on my finger because he's a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I think episode 1 is in the books, bud. Fucking.
What can people look forward to in future episodes?
More of the dog.
Oh,
guaranteed, because he's
yes.
Yeah. I think a little bit of talking about everything. I think that's the plan. It's just a little bit of not glossing over a lot of things, but then I'll just talking about a lot of things. Like a lot, because we do a lot of different things. We listen to a lot of different music. We watch different movies. We
walk different lives.
Yeah. So I think it'll just be like a conversation between two guys around the same age that are living different lives, right?
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I turned 40 and what's the date today? The 3rd? 22 days. So.
And I turned 42 in 4 months. So.
Yeah. So.
42.
Yeah, I'll be 40.
Something to also consider in the future. Yes, the chat was active, and we appreciate the input. But at the same time, this was the first episode. So in the future episodes, we'll be more interactive with the chat.
Yep.
Because input is great input.
Yeah. I know. Was there people chatting on mine? I wasn't even watching. Well, no, it's because I have a different presentation loaded up for this. It was just.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways, no, it's a good place to end it. We'll see you next time. I'm going to hit the theme music and 3, 2, 1, bye.